Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're back with another Guess the Grade. We've got 15 really interesting coins, a wide variety of different types, and the way that this is going to work is I'll be showing you a coin. I'll show you both the reverse and the obverse. Make sure that the grade is not in the photo, and then we'll get back together and I'll uncover the grade for you, and I'll probably be off by 10 points or so and be upset, but it'll give you an opportunity to practice your own grading. There's some interesting higher value coins. I saw there's a really nice $3 gold piece here and even a $2.50. Maybe we'll see it later, but I do want to pull it out just to show you that I'm not lying. 2.5 quarter eagle from 1834. So lots of interesting stuff to grade. Let's get right into the coins. So like I said, we've got our first coin right here with some neat toning on it, and it's going to be a seated dime, and the toning is cool, and I think that there is going to be a little bit of wear on it just because the toning doesn't, the luster doesn't quite look like it would be on a mint state, and there's, I would say, some just clear wear sort of along the legs. And then let's see if you look on the back. I don't know. It just doesn't look like a mint state coin to me, though I think that the toning is quite attractive. So I would put this at like an AU 53. And there was a little bit of a sound interruption, but it's an AU 55. So that's sort of right in that range. I always have a tough time distinguishing in the different parts and ranges in the about uncirculated, but all the details really there. Just a tiny bit of wear, and I like the toning on it. Our next coin is going to be a Mercury dime, and this is always like another one of my fears in terms of distinguishing if we've got split bands. I don't think that looks split though to me. The coin on the back looks nice, but one big thing, if there was one thing that the A&A Summer Seminar, which is where I met Scott, who gave me the coins for this video, they always say look at the front, and really that's going to compose the grade. The back isn't going to add to it, but can hurt things. I think that this is just super nice, and maybe it deserves a higher grade. I think it's maybe a 65 with nice toning, but it's going to be a 66, and so that seems pretty fair. 65, 66, there's really, I don't think, anything wrong with the coin, and that is probably a more accurate representation of what it should be. Right here we've got a quarter, looks pretty cameo to deep cameo on the back. On the front, man, I can't tell if it's going to be cameo or not. It's a nice proof coin. I'm thinking, I can't tell. Not that there's a huge magnitude in terms of what my decision is, but it looks like a really nice coin to me. Very little in the way of anything distracting. I think those little scratches are on the holder, not the coin. So I'm going to say on a coin like this, maybe and I feel like this would be a pretty valuable coin if it is like a 66 or 67 cameo, but 68 cameo, wow. So that's probably accurate again. I'm a little bit under yet again, but yeah, as you can see, there's really nothing wrong with this coin. Doesn't quite make it to deep cameo, but that 68 grade I feel like is quite fair. The next one also going to be proof, and maybe I'm wrong, but tell me what you think. This one clearly has more contrast between, the one that just graded 68 cameo between the fields, and it doesn't have that on the front. So this is a 55. I would call this like a proof 66. Proof 67 is going to be the grade, and again, very little in the way of things that are distracting, but a nice coin doesn't have that cameo. You can see why people pay so much for the cameo in a situation like that, which again, I believe it's the more early ones in a new pair of dies that will have that nice presentation, and certainly the deep cameo is very rare. Nice Walking Liberty $50 next. Not much going on the back. I always like to look for the missing engravers. Initials 1941 on the front. Few hits to the leg. I would call this a mint state 64. It's going to be 65, and an example of like you can have some hits on something and it still is nice. The rest of the coin is super clean in the fields. So next, let me know how you guys are doing at this point, by the way. Next up, we've got this $3 coin from 1859. Now, gold is always a big trap for me because I just grade it really poorly. So I'm always a little worried about saying something way off in front of all of my subscribers. But this one, to me, I'm thinking that's like AU 58 or 55, but probably 58. And for all I know, it could be mint state, but I feel like it just looks like it's a little bit worn. So I'm going to say AU 58, and it's a 55. So I'm happy that I wasn't too off there. And so again, a little bit over, but generally in the past, I've often found that I undergrade gold a lot. So you can be a little bit more forgiving, I've found, with some of the gold. Maybe other people would disagree with me on that. Indians are also pretty challenging. Quarter eagle here to grade. This one's in Cuse, I believe. And so, or maybe not. But this one, 1929, See, again, I am having a challenging time to tell if it's in mint state or if it's worn. I'm going to guess AU 58 on this again, and it's mint state 63. So that's sort of what I had feared. But a nice. I don't know if it applies to gold. A lot of people will say AU 58. I mentioned this in the last video on the guess the grades can correspond nicely to the mint state 63 grade. But it sort of shows for somebody like me, like buying these raw, I'm often, I want to grade it for the person that I'm purchasing from, just because there can be a range of outcomes with it. But nice coin. I don't exactly know the value, but it's one of the more attractive designs out there without a doubt. This one, to me, if this isn't mint state, I'm going to be very sad. It looks like a little bit of a little dot down there. So I'll guess mint state 63, maybe 64, but I'm going to say 63, and it's 62. So I was a little bit wrong in the direction of the one grade that I got off on it. And maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit cleaned or something, but I don't really know why it dropped that much, because I think it's a really nice looking coin. But shows my inexperience with the gold. Next up, looks like we've got a seriously toned Morgan dollar. So we'll see if it's a rarer date, 1904. That's the last date before they had a long hiatus. Until 1921, when the Pittman Act comes in and they start striking more Morgans. Then they move over to the peace dollar in the same year. But the toning, it looks like a little bit later stage toning. I'm going to say, I don't feel like the toning is actually super attractive on the front of this coin. I really like the back, but I would say like 64, because there are a fair amount of sort of marks through the field, and 65 is the grade. So maybe it got like a little bit of a toner bump, or maybe, there's not super distracting in terms of the marks on the face. Nice toned coin there. Looks like we've got 6 coins left. And this next one, I really like the toning on this. Nice. I think this is like the perfectly toned coin, because you have the nice sort of rainbow effect with the deep orange and brown sort of converting into red, and then, or maybe it's the opposite there, red, orange, and then yellow, and really running the spectrum of the rainbow on the front of the coin. Looks super nice. I feel like if the last one was a 65, this should be higher, but I'm going to say 65 on this one, and it's 64. So, again, I always am nervous about what I'm saying, but this one's going to be a 64. I'm trying to see, maybe there's a little bit sort of to the right of the bonnet and the Morgan that doesn't look great, but I really like how this coin looks. So that's what I would say there. And here is the coin that I was way off on the last one. $50, 1847. I feel like, it doesn't look like there's a ton of luster, but on the last one I said something was a 40, and it turned out being a 55. My first instinct is to call this like a 35, but I'm going to guess that this one's in the XF range. So I would say like XF 40 on this one. We'll see if I'm right. VF 30. Okay. So, again, I was well off, but at least I gave a disclaimer that I thought it would be a little bit in the VF 35, because there's a little bit more wear, like the E in the Liberty is a little bit more worn off, and there is no luster left on the coin. But let me, maybe at the end of the video, I'll show the other coin that I fell for, but VF 30, that, I agree with that being corrected. I don't feel like I was robbed or anything. This one's really nice. Check this out. So, this is a large cent. For those of you that don't know, we used to have cents that were much larger. People cared a lot more about the metal composition, and I don't see wear on this one. So, again, maybe I'll be angry that I said that, but this one, I'm going to say it's a mint state 63, maybe 4, but mint state 63 brown, and it's AU 58 brown. So, I was wrong again. Maybe there is a little bit of sort of metal discoloration or difference in front of it where the wear would have occurred. But again, this is a much better example, I think, than the one that I missed and called AU58 when it was Mint State 63. Like, this coin is super attractive, would look great in a typeset, and I don't know, I'll post-edit the price difference in NGC AU58 brown versus Mint State 63 brown, but I bet it's a big difference, and it's still, this is going to sell well. Like, nice, attractive AU58s, people are always interested in purchasing. This one, the 1834 2.5, nice coin. Looks, I think a lot of the earlier gold might be slightly clean. Maybe I don't have a great eye for it. To me, this looks like a lower AU grade. But again, this is just, I was sort of give my thoughts and then let you guys form your own as we're looking at it. But yeah, I'm going to guess like a AU 50 maybe netted down. 58. Wow. So I was totally off on that one, outside of being in the right grade range, and sort of like I was saying before, I was a little bit harsher on the gold, and that's not because I'm a better grader than the grading companies. It's just like that's one of the areas that I'm often bad at. But really nice coin. It's really tough to get any of the 1834, any of these sort of draped. This might be classic. I always miss, this isn't draped, but maybe it's a classic head gold piece. I want to say that they stopped making these in 1838 or 1839, but really cool to be able to feature a coin like that today, even if I have an embarrassing mistake. Then we've got this clip planchet. It looks like you always, I forget if it's called like the Blakely or the Blythe-Lee effect, but the big key with clip planchets is you can see sort of 180 degrees. It doesn't always appear, but there should be some weakness in the rim, and that's exactly what happens here. In terms of the grade itself, this is going to be a little bit more risky because I'm probably going to mess it up. I would call this like a 25, but maybe it's lower. I feel like I'll stick with like a 25 clip planchet, and it's VF30. So yeah, curved clip. There's all sorts of different clips. I have a great video that should have released by now that I made. There's clips like elliptical ones, ragged, straight. There's crescent clips, tons of different ones out there, incomplete, double, triple, and more. So definitely check that out. But this is a really cool coin. VF30 is going to be the final grade on that. But I feel like the $50 looked a lot nicer than the dime. And then lastly, we're going to close it out. We have a Lincoln Cent, looks red to me. So there's the red, brown, and brown designations, of course. And this one fully red. I would say, I think it'll either be a 65 or 66. And I'll just say 66 for a lot of nice luster and eye appeal. And it's a Mint State 66 red. So that may be the first one or one of the few that I've actually gotten right today. Shows you that I'm still learning, and hopefully you are as well. So thanks again to Scott for letting me check out these coins and feature them in another Guess the Grade video. 15 really neat ones. I think some of the highlights, in my opinion, were the AU58. Let's see if I can find it. AU58 cornet head cent. This one I have a little bit of a vengeance against because it made me look bad, but AU58 classic. There it says it. And I was debating before if this is a classic head or drape bust. Classic head, quarter eagle, and then I always like errors. So seeing something nice like that, really neat. But also I thought it was special to see what a 68 cameo. 1956 they were producing a lot more proof sets, or a lot less proof sets than they were a few years later. So this is a really nice rare coin, and I'd be curious to see what the value is. Thanks for watching. I'll have another Guess the Grade probably coming in about 4 or 5 weeks, and make sure to be on the lookout for that so you can practice your grading then. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated. I've also got Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so you can follow me there. TreasuretownYT.com is the main channel website. Definitely give that a visit. I've got a lot of information about me up there and the channel. CoinGrabBag.com as well currently redirects there, but it's some good opportunities for very fair grab bags, both made by me and other sellers. A lot of different options, so that's a good way to support. There's also TreasuretownCoins.com. In the future, my coin dealing operation will be done out of that website. CoinMeltPrice.com for updates on the melt prices of your coins, both US and world. world. A lot of resources in that website. And then coinsmetalscards.com being developed right now as a marketplace and news source for coins, metals, cards, and collectibles in general. So I'll see you on my future videos. Looking forward to seeing you there, and hope you have a good day.